It's the week of Halloween, and I've got some spooky recommendations here for you guys today. These are essential animated films that you've got to watch every year around this time to get you in that Halloween spirit. And of course, because it is my channel, I have got physical copies of all of the animation that I'm going to be talking about in this video. I have about 100 years of animation recommendations for you, so make sure you stick around, watch the entire video, because there's going to be at least something that's not on your list. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited because I get to talk about one of my passions in this video, animation. I'm a big fan of animation, going all the way back to the turn of the century. The earliest thing we have to talk about today is from 1907, and then we're going all the way up to the 1990s, so almost 100 years of recommendations for you. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's dive right in. The only caveat I will give you is that we are going to be talking animated shorts in this video, not feature films. I have a follow-up video that I'm going to be shooting right after this where I talk about feature films, but this is just going to be animated shorts because I love the art form and it is a perfect way to get into the spooky season spirit. I'm going to start right here with this stack of Walt Disney animation. Disney has a long history of Halloween-inspired, horror-inspired animation, and a long history of animation before they even started making feature films. We're going to go all the way back to 1929. Like I said, we are going to go earlier than that, but I wanted to start with some more recognizable stuff that people have heard of. We're going to go to the Silly Symphonies line, which was Walt Disney's line of animation that he started right after he did Steamboat Willie. Had a huge hit with Steamboat Willie, and instead of just steering into that and putting out nothing but Mickey Mouse cartoons, he started a whole other line. Silly Symphonies was a line of animated cartoons that were synchronized to music, and we're going to talk about one of the most famous ones right now. That is the Skeleton Dance. Everybody has probably seen at least some clips from the Skeleton Dance. It's used over and over in other movies and other media. It is just a simple musical little cartoon. It's only 5 minutes long, and it's just a little graveyard scene with these cute little skeletons doing all of this creative animation in their dancing, and there's bats and there's cats and there's just all kinds of spooky stuff to get you in the Halloween mood. You got to pop it on. So that's a really fun one to watch when you have very small children. I think this is a great way to introduce children into animation, into just cinema, films, movies in general, because they're very short. They don't have to have a long attention span yet. Obviously, you don't have to just watch the spooky ones. The Silly Symphonies in general are a great way to introduce kids to movies eventually. Then we've got another cartoon from the Silly Symphonies line. This is in Volume 2, the More Silly Symphonies DVD. Both of these are from the Walt Disney Treasures line. Big fan of these. And the cartoon is called Hell's Bells, directed by Ub Iwerks, another master of animation during this time. Creator of Mickey Mouse, basically started Walt Disney Animation with Walt Disney. This one, as you can tell by the title, not in a graveyard. Another spooky setting. It is in hell. It is the demons of hell playing music for Satan, whose delight turns to wrath when an insubordinate refuses to become food for Cerberus. So you've got some of the Greek mythology in there, and some really creative stuff with the animation. There's a giant spider in this one. You've probably seen clips from this one as well. Those are both the Silly Symphonies that I like to watch around Halloween time. You probably don't need to hunt these down. These are long out of print at this point and can be pretty pricey. I'm sure these are on YouTube somewhere. You can probably find them on YouTube. Let's move on to the mouse. We just mentioned them. Let's go ahead and jump into the Mickey Mouse cartoons that I want to cover in this video. We're going to go to Mickey Mouse in Black and White. This is Volume 2. Mickey Mouse in Black and White Volume 2, also from 1929. This is a Mickey Mouse cartoon called The Haunted House. Another very musical cartoon. Not much story in these early ones. They're just really seeing what they can do with this animation. The Silly Symphonies, the early cartoons, were really the animators' kind of practice ground, playground, where they could push the limits, and then they worked themselves up until they could do a feature film with Snow White in 1937. 1929, we've got The Haunted House, which basically just Mickey Mouse comes in from the cold into this house, and then there's ghosts in there, there's skeletons in there, and they force him to play the piano for them, and then all this crazy stuff starts happening, and it's just really creative stuff. I love this period of animation. You never get this amount of creativity anymore. Like, the animations will slowly start to normalize over the decades and get more standardized across the board. But in these early experimental days, they were just doing all kinds of stuff. Another fun cartoon, 7 minutes, so we're getting a little bit longer, but just a perfect atmosphere that I like in October. This next one, though, is a very different atmosphere, very unique, especially for a Mickey Mouse cartoon. I like this one quite a lot. People are probably familiar with this one too. This is a more well-known cartoon. It's The Mad Doctor, and it's also in Mickey Mouse in black and white, but it's in volume 1. This cartoon is from 1933, so we're jumping ahead a few years. It is called The Mad Doctor, and it is a wonderful cartoon and pretty creepy. This is really starting to introduce your kids to some horror elements. This one has more of a story to it, but we're getting into story now in 1933. Pluto is there. He's around at this point, and the Mad Doctor kidnaps Pluto, and he's doing some crazy wild experiments. He's removing parts of Pluto and mixing him with another animal, a chicken. I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's a chicken. It's not like it's a spoiler. But I will say there is a happy ending at the end, so don't worry if it starts getting too dark for you. Obviously, with any of these, take them with a grain of salt and watch them yourself before you show them to your kids. I am not a professional or anything. Don't take my word for it. Everyone needs to watch it for themselves before they decide what they want to show their kids. But there is a happy ending to this one, so it's not as dark as it seems. But there is some really creepy imagery in this one, and it's a lot of fun. There's more creative stuff done. Mickey goes into the castle to rescue Pluto. There's more skeletons. There are all of this mad scientist equipment that's after him. Love the atmosphere on this one. Love the mad science angle. This is right in the 30s when we're getting the Universal monster films. So we have the Invisible Man and Frankenstein. So it fits right in with that aesthetic. Really, really cool cartoon, and one that we have to watch every year. Next, we're going to jump all the way to 1937, and we're going to go into color. This is our first color short of the video, so we got to go to Mickey Mouse in Living Color, Volume 1, and it is Lonesome Ghosts. Classic short, another one people are probably very familiar with. This not only has Mickey, but it has Donald and Goofy in this short, and they are ghost hunters, but they get a call from a haunted house full of actual ghosts, so the ghosts themselves are just bored and they want to mess with people. So they call the ghost exterminators, and the ghosts just play pranks on them the entire short until it gets resolved at the end. Very different from anything we've talked about so far. We've had skeletons, we've had demons, we've had mad scientists. Now we have ghosts, and there's so much creative stuff you can do with ghosts in this early experimental animation period. It's a great one. Another one you can watch online. I didn't even mention it earlier because I don't use streaming services. I completely forgot. You can watch some of these on Disney+. And this is one that you can watch on Disney+. The early ones, I don't think they have all of them on there, though. They're a little weird with what they put on Disney+, and a lot of these that we're going to talk about later are not going to be on streaming services, so physical is your best bet, or maybe you can find some of them on YouTube in lesser quality. Next up, we're going to jump to a lesser-known cartoon, but it is also in color, and it is not Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. It's just Donald and his nephews. This is a fun one. This is a little outside the box for Halloween, but it fits in enough for me to include it. We're going to Donald, the chronological Donald, Volume 2 for this one. This is 1942 to 1946 because this short is from 1944. It is called Donald Duck and the Gorilla. And we follow Donald Duck and his nephews. They are living in this like antique, huge, spooky mansion house. I don't know why they're living in this mansion in this cartoon, but they are. They're sitting around in the living room listening on the radio. They hear a broadcast come across that Ajax the gorilla has escaped from the zoo. His nephews are scared, and Donald, of course, uses this as an opportunity to scare them even more and dresses up as a gorilla to spook them. But then the actual gorilla, Ajax, shows up and terrorizes them around the entire house. This is a little bit later, 1940, so we're getting not as experimental. This is more straightforward, but there is some fun stuff that or some fun pain that Donald has to go through as he's running away from this gorilla. Just a fun cat and mouse story like you would see in like Tom and Jerry or something like that, which we might talk about a little bit later. Next, we're going to jump ahead to 1952 for another solo Donald Duck cartoon. And this is another big famous one. It's got the iconic song in it that everybody knows. It is Trick or Treat from 1952, again starring Donald and his nephews. And this has all of the Halloween tropes that you could want. It has trick-or-treating, it has the nephews dressing up in costumes, it has a spooky witch. It's perfect. Got a very catchy song, the Trick or Treat song. It is in the Chronological Donald Volume 4, so I gotta get out another DVD to pop this one. And I wish Disney would just put out a set with all of their Halloween cartoons on it. That would be great, but I've got to sift through all these discs and pop them in. This one, though, is also available on Disney+. This is, like I said, much more well-known short, so a lot of people probably are familiar with this one on Disney+, so I won't talk about it too much. But it's a great cartoon, another one where the nephews get revenge on Donald for being mean to them, and this time they get to team up with a witch to do it. Lots of spooky Halloween vibes in that one. Perfect for spooky season. And then we're gonna jump all the way to 1995 with this, I want to say, little known cartoon. I don't know how many people know about this. I didn't know about this until I got this set. This is Mickey Mouse in Living Color Volume 2, and it goes all the way up till the end of the 90s. So it goes through A Christmas Carol, goes through Prince and the Pauper, and Runaway Brain is on this. We're talking about Runaway Brain, a little short 8-minute cartoon from 1995. I don't know what this premiered before. I'm assuming this went to theaters before something. Was it maybe a Goofy movie or something? But Runaway Brain is this really fun throwback cartoon, basically a Frankenstein story where you've got another mad scientist, so we've gone almost full circle here, and he is building this monster. Mickey gets roped in and they get their brains switched. So Mickey's brain is in this giant monster and the monster's brain is in Mickey. So it's this fun little flip. It's only an 8-minute cartoon, but there's a lot of creative stuff done with skyscrapers and such a cool evil lair that the mad scientist has. And it was really, really fun. I had never heard of this. A little creepy. Maybe show this to your kids once they hit a certain age. My kids are 5 and 7, and they had no problem with this last year. Very interesting cartoon that I don't know how many people know about. It was new to me, but now I have it on disc, and I plan to watch it every year with the kids from now on. Not sure if you can find that one on Disney Plus or streaming anywhere, but if you can find it, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Let's get away from Disney now. Let's move away from the big behemoth that is Walt Disney and talk about some other animation studios throughout the years. Let's go back to the 30s and talk about one of my favorite animation studios, Fleischer Studios. You might know them from the original Superman cartoons, or Popeye, one of their most famous characters. These DVD digipacks are incredible. I highly recommend you tracking these down. These are comprehensive sets, all of the original Fleischer Popeye the Sailor cartoons, and beautifully pictured here with some wonderful artwork and all of the shorts listed. These are theatrical shorts that were coming out around the same time. This one is from 1934. It's called Shiver Me Timbers, and it is available on disc 1 right here. It is the 13th cartoon that Fleischer made for Popeye, and it is a wonderful little cartoon. The kids love this one. Kids love Popeye. My kids, anyway. And this is about a ghost ship. Popeye, Olive, and Wimpy, the guy with the hamburgers, they come across a ship, and they're like, let's go, let's just hop on. They hop on board the ship, and there are ghosts on board. That's basically it. Not a lot of story in this one, but a lot of room for some creative animation antics. Popeye, especially, Fleischer, incredibly creative animation during this period. There is no physics. They can do whatever they want to for the gag, but the setting of the ghost ship provides tons of areas and ideas for ghost antics. This one's very similar to Lonesome Ghosts from Disney, but this came out a few years earlier. It's a really fun cartoon. I like that one a lot. Fleischer Studios, one of my favorite studios. Let's jump to a different studio now. We're gonna jump over to Harvey Studios, Harvey Comics. This is Casper the Friendly Ghost, going all the way back to 1945 with the Friendly Ghost. That's the name of the first short, and then it was so popular that they created an entire series about it. Not all of the Casper shorts are aesthetic to the Halloween season. Because he went on for so long, he has to make all these cartoons. So he is going underwater, he's going into space, he's doing all these different kinds of things, but there are some specific ones that feel very much in the Halloween spirit. This is the complete collection from Shout Factory. Love that Shout Factory is putting out some animation stuff, some kids stuff. I'm a huge supporter of that. I like to buy it when I can. I hope they continue to do that This covers everything from 1945 to 1963. So you've got the original theatrical cartoons on disc 1, starting with The Friendly Ghost, like I mentioned. Recommend watching that one. Then A Haunting We Will Go is another great one that fits into the Halloween spirit. And then later, there was a cartoon show that was, I'm assuming, on TV that includes Wendy and some of the other characters from the Harvey comics. So this is also included, this whole set. This is a great set. It also has this little booklet that gives you some background on the comics and the cartoons, and it also gives you an episode guide. So there's tons of stuff in here. This one has been entertaining my family for a couple years now. We watched some of them again this year, and I highly recommend it. The whole conceit of the character is he is a friendly ghost, and he's just trying to come up and talk to people, but every time he does, people scream in terror and run away. That gag is in the original short, and then it carries through the series. So there's some spooky scares in there. And if you don't have that complete set from Shout Factory, there are a few of the cartoons included on the recent Casper 4K Steelbook. I think they show the original cartoon and a few others. So you got a couple you can watch on there if you bought that earlier this year. That came out recently, but we're not talking about that because that's a feature film. We're just talking about animated shorts. Let's talk about another iconic short, also from Fleischer Studios. This is from Betty Boop, The Essential Collection, Volume 4. So the same studio that brought us Popeye also brought us Betty Boop. Popeye's first appearance, actually, was in a Betty Boop cartoon before he got his own series. But today, we're talking about Snow White, the animated Betty Boop cartoon from 1933, Snow White. So the same year as Shiver Me Timbers, Betty Boop was getting mixed up with the Evil Queen. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is an adaptation of the Snow White fairy tale where Betty Boop is the fairest in the land. And there is a really fun twist to this one. You may have seen clips from this one as well, because this one goes around. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on YouTube Shorts. It's a fun little clip. So the beginning of the cartoon is just the Snow White story that you know. The end of the cartoon is a chase scene with a giant dragon. The witch turns into a dragon, but the middle part is where the iconic Halloween imagery is, and it is wonderful. Basically, when Snow White dies, she's in the glass box. She goes underground into this underground cave. It kind of looks like the underworld. There's like really cool skeletons in the background and phantom carriages like the Grim Reaper would have. All this really cool imagery in the background, and they're going through. Coco the Clown is also with her, another iconic Fleischer Studios character. I don't know why he's in this. It's basically just all the Fleischer characters together in this one. But the witch turns Coco the Clown into a ghost as he's going through this underworld lair, and he's just dancing. They clearly like rotoscoped over like a really, really good dancer and performer. He's singing in this scene. This is probably the scene you guys have seen. If you've seen anything from this, this is available on YouTube, so check it out if you haven't seen it. I had to put it in here because it's so iconic for that middle part. Check it out. It is called Snow White, 1933, from the Betty Boop cartoon. Highly recommend that one. That's a new edition. This is an Olive Films release that was actually sent to me by a subscriber. Very happy to have this classic animation on Blu-ray. This is volume 4. There's 3 other ones as well. But that is our Betty Boop cartoon. I wanted to make sure and include that one because this was the first year that we watched that as a family. That's a new one for our household. Now we're going to go all the way back to the beginning, 1907, like I teased at the beginning of this video. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite Blu-ray distributors that a lot of people might not know about. This is Thunderbean Animation, and they put out wonderful collections of these cartoons that I believe are in the public domain, but really early stuff before Disney. This is not from a single studio. This is all kinds of studios from the time period. They do these wonderful curated Blu-ray sets from their Cartoon Roots line, and this one is called Cartoon Roots Halloween Haunts, and this is just packed with everything on here is perfect for Halloween. Like, you don't have to do any curating. I've been doing curating this whole video. This one is already curated for you. Just pick this up. I think it's on Amazon still. I'll try to put links for stuff that is available in the description, but a lot of this stuff is out of print, unfortunately. But I will try to give you guys links down there for anything that is available. But these are great sets. This is a really tiny little Blu-ray distributor that does just kind of homemade looking sets almost. They have a little pamphlet in there, and they've got the Blu-ray and DVD for you. It's some brilliant animation, some brilliant filmmaking, and I just gotta rattle these off. Like, there are so many in here. I'm not gonna be able to go through each one. The first one is The Haunted House from 1907. It's actually a live action short, but it utilizes stop motion animation and other animation techniques throughout. It's also got some forced perspective stuff. It's got some tiny sets with like a giant character that comes in at the end. Just basically picture a Georges Méliès short in a haunted house. Perfect for Halloween. Then we go straight into The Pumpkin Race, which is a French short from 1908. My kids absolutely love this one. They have to watch this one every year, multiple times. It's a very simple story. It is just kind of a stop motion exercise where these people lose their pumpkins. Their pumpkins roll down the hill and they continue to chase the pumpkins for the entire length of the short. I think it's like 11 minutes. It's wonderful. The pumpkins go down in the sewer. The pumpkins go up on top of a roof. They go down the chimney. They're chasing the pumpkins everywhere, animated with stop motion. Makes my kids laugh every year. Then we have a couple cartoons, early cartoons from Fleischer Studios. This is from 1920 and 1925. These are Coco the Clown shorts, and it is from the Out of the Inkwell series. This was a series where Dave Fleischer was experimenting with mixing animation and live action. So the Out of the Inkwell series has Coco the Clown coming out of the animator's drawings and interacting with the real world. We're already doing that in 1920, and these are really fun. The first one includes a Ouija board, so it's perfect for October. And the second one is called Coco Sees Spooks. Then we've got Alice's Mysterious Mystery in here. Alice is Walt Disney's first character. That was the first character they did before Mickey Mouse, before Oswald. They were doing Alice. It was inspired by the Out of the Inkwell series, but instead of the animated character coming out and interacting with the real world, it was a live action girl in the animation world. So there's a live action girl that they filmed in studio, and then she would interact with these animated characters. So one of those is included on here. And the list just goes on. I'm not going to continue to go through everything because this video is already probably too long, but there's a ton more iconic characters in here. You've got a Mutt and Jeff cartoon, which is what this Phantom character on the front is from. You've got some Felix the Cat cartoons, but the last cartoon I'll mention from this set features Tom and Jerry. Not that Tom and Jerry, this Tom and Jerry from Van Buren Studios. This is an earlier duo called Tom and Jerry, and the short is called Watt a Night, like an electric watt, and it is a really fun cartoon where Tom and Jerry go to a haunted castle. My favorite visual from that cartoon is when they arrive at the castle. It's the middle of a thunderstorm. One of the clouds comes down to the castle, like the bumpy part of the castle, and starts playing it like it is an organ, and the towers of the castle become the pipes of the organ. Such an amazing visual. There's so much creative stuff in this one as well. There's also another Tom and Jerry cartoon that's not included in the Halloween Haunts. You get What a Night on there. But there's another one in this set called The Magic Mummy, which is perfect for Halloween. This is the complete collection of Tom and Jerry from Thunderbean as well. So the same distributor put out the entire Van Buren Studios collection of Tom and Jerry. So you can watch both of those Tom and Jerry cartoons in October. And that is a perfect segue to jump right into the other Tom and Jerry duo, the cat and the mouse, much more well-known. I have right here the Golden Collection Volume 1 on Blu-ray. This includes the first 37 cartoons from the Tom and Jerry line from MGM. Never got a Volume 2, unfortunately, but I will say they are finally releasing the complete collection of Tom and Jerry right now. Like, I think it's up for pre-order as I'm making this video, so I'll definitely put that link in the description. I don't have it yet, but I will be buying that one. I'm so excited that we're finally getting the complete collection. But the three cartoons I want to mention from this set, and it'll be in that set too, that fit perfectly in October are Fraidy Cat, where Tom hears a ghost story on the radio and is spooked by it, and Jerry notices this and takes advantage of it and uses a variety of tricks to scare Tom. That's a perfect October watch. And some other ones that I think fit into the theme, maybe not as well as Fraidy Cat, but they do remind me of Universal monster movies of the time, is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse from 1947. And then you have The Invisible Mouse from 1947 as well. So both from the same year. Great stuff from Tom and Jerry that we like to watch with the kids this month as well. And of course, I don't even need to mention this one. Everybody knows about this one, but I'll throw it here anyway. It is The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which I have on the 4K collection of the holiday stuff. They're also releasing a complete collection of the Peanuts this month, which, or maybe it's already out. I don't have it yet either. I need to get my hands on that though. But if you just want the holiday stuff, the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas shorts, they're on this set, which is pretty nice. This came out last year. I was happy to get it. And then I would be very upset with myself if I didn't put some Scooby-Doo on this list. So I'm just gonna pull out the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, the complete series on Blu-ray. I grew up watching Scooby-Doo as a kid, and now I'm passing the tradition on to my kids as well. They love Scooby-Doo. This is exactly the kind of aesthetic and tone I want in October, in spooky season. I need supernatural stuff. I need ghosts and goblins and ghouls. I don't need serial killers. That's not my thing. I need an atmosphere, and Scooby-Doo fits that perfectly, and you can show that to pretty young kids as well. Obviously, this is like 60s TV animation, so it's gonna be nothing like as good as the classic, like theatrical shorts that we just talked about. That stuff is amazing. But this is still a lot of fun, and like I said, it gets that atmosphere that I like during Halloween. I've got the original series right here on Blu-ray, but you can watch any of the cartoons going all the way up. But I will say, this is one of the only ones that's available on Blu-ray. We've got this, and we've got the new Scooby-Doo movies on Blu-ray. Where is all the rest of it, Warner? Warner Brothers needs to put out the rest of it. Warner Archive has been putting out all these other Hanna-Barbera cartoons recently, but they haven't been doing Scooby-Doo. Where is the original Scooby-Doo movies? Where is the Scrappy-Doo stuff? Where is the pup named Scooby-Doo stuff? We don't have any of the other series on Blu-ray, and we need it. We need that stuff. Some of that stuff isn't even available on disc at all, especially like the Scrappy-Doo and the other Dino Mutt series. A lot of that stuff is hard to get your hands on. You have to watch it on like the Boomerang app or something. HBO Max is weird. They have some of it, but not all of it. It's a bummer. We need it on discs. Please put that on discs, Warner. So that's everything I have to recommend for you today as far as animation. As far as animated shorts go, I'd like to talk about feature-length stuff in the future, like I said. Hopefully there was something on that stack that wasn't on your radar. Hopefully that video was helpful for you. I'll talk to you in the comments down below if you have any more questions, and I'll be back with more physical media content very soon. So pay attention to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more recommendation videos in the future. And until then, keep collecting.